In a mess, dial 1-800-GET-A-KISS.
How to get lots of flowers at a bargain price, Monday at 12:30 on Talk of the Town.
Tonight's headlines: unemployment hits 9-year high. Dow hits 9-month high. A new test reveals shuttle disaster clues. Also tonight, the affirmative action battle. This one-man story will show you why the U.S. military believes it's essential. A cop in hot pursuit of a runaway train. Can he catch it? The dramatic finish caught on tape. And you'll think it's science fiction, but wait till you see what scientists are sending to Mars.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Many Americans who'd given up finding a job in the sluggish economy decided to try again. And again, many were disappointed. That drove the U.S. unemployment rate up another tenth of a point, up to 6.1%. That's the highest in 9 years since the summer of '94. The economy lost thousands more jobs in May, but the government says not nearly as many as predicted. On Wall Street, a rally goes on. The Dow inched up 21 points today to close at its highest level since August. Anthony Mason has the latest tonight on high unemployment and other vital signs in the economy.
Manufacturers again lost the most jobs last month. Manufacturers like the Kraft Company in New York's South Bronx, one of the last hat makers in America. 5 years ago, this factory floor would have been full. You had how many employees then?
Roughly 150, 200.
Today, says Mark Fromowitz, he's down to
about 45, 50 employees.
and he's struggling to keep those workers employed as he loses more and more orders to overseas competition. What trend are you seeing?
Downward spiral. That's the only trend I see.
So manufacturers like Fromowitz are being especially cautious. That's one reason the economy has been slow to accelerate.
We still see businesses that are hesitant to invest in plants and equipment. That's the one piece of the puzzle that we're missing. And just like they're hesitant to invest, they're hesitant to hire workers.
The unemployment rate hasn't been this high in 9 years, but the economy seems to be contradicting itself. Unemployment is up, but so is the stock market. The promise of a recovery pushed the Dow over 9,000 this week for the first time since last summer. Is the market predicting the future or just having a pipe dream? Arthur Cashin calls this a Peter Pan rally.
You know, in the beginning of Peter Pan, when they come out and say, children, if you all believe Peter can fly, well, this rally is a lot more about belief than results so far. This is a rally of faith.
At Kraft Hats, Mark Fromowitz would like to have faith. Personally, what are you feeling?
The pinch. I'm feeling the pinch.
Feeling the pain and hoping for a recovery. Hat maker Mark Fromowitz is frustrated by an economy that's been wearing two hats. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
Scientific tests conducted in Texas today provide the strongest evidence yet of what caused the Space Shuttle Columbia tragedy. CBS's Bob Orr has the story and the pictures that strongly indicate an accident waiting to happen.
It may be as close as accident investigators ever come to a smoking gun.
5, 4, 3.
This test today in San Antonio, for the first time, proved the collision of foam insulation with Columbia's left wing could have triggered a fatal scenario, which doomed the shuttle and the 7 astronauts on board. In the test, a piece of foam weighing about 1.5 pounds was fired by a cannon at 530 miles an hour into the same reinforced carbon material used on the front of Columbia's wings. While it's difficult to see the damage, the high-speed impact of the lightweight material cracked the wing.
This is the first evidence that we have that a piece of foam that approximates what was observed in the accident can in fact crack and damage a piece of flight reinforced carbon panel.
Investigators believe the test precisely replicates the foam strike, which happened just 82 seconds after Columbia's launch. Insulation shed from the external fuel tank hit the leading edge of the shuttle's left wing. At the time, NASA ruled out any chance that the foam had caused significant damage, and even after the accident, top officials continued to discount the foam. But the test now strongly suggests NASA's assumptions were wrong. Investigators believe the foam strike likely created a small hole in the leading edge of the left wing. With that, Columbia had no chance to get home. As the shuttle began its fiery re-entry, hot gases entered the wing, creating a blowtorch effect. The 3,000-degree temperatures melted the aluminum structure and ultimately destroyed the shuttle. Now investigators are preparing their final report, largely blaming the loss of Columbia on a NASA culture that tolerated repeated mistakes and unnecessary risks. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
In Iraq today, a U.S. military patrol west of Baghdad reportedly came under small arms fire and fired back. No casualties reported on either side. American forces have been facing ambush after ambush, and in some hotspots, they're taking action to try to stop them. CBS's David Martin is just back from Iraq.
U.S. troops continue their house-to-house searches in Fallujah, rounding up weapons and former members of Saddam's Ba'ath Party. But one American general in Iraq says what worries him most about the violence in Fallujah is that die-hard members of Saddam's regime appear to have the support of the local population. Another general, William Wallace, who commands all army troops in Iraq, said in a recent interview with CBS News that the enemy is taking advantage of his ability to blend in with the population.
Isn't that the classic description of guerrilla fighters, having fallen back into the sea of the people and then doing hit-and-run attacks?
That is certainly one of their techniques, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
There's no sign of any coordination among attacks in different parts of the country, but many of the ambushes are well planned and appear to be not just the final spasms of a dead regime, but the work of what one official calls a thinking enemy. That thinking enemy remains loyal to Saddam, which is why Lieutenant General David McKiernan, who commands all ground forces in Iraq, has told associates it is becoming increasingly vital to solve the mystery of what happened to the Iraqi dictator and his two sons. Either find their bodies buried in the rubble, or find their hiding place and kill or capture them. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
United Nations nuclear inspectors returned to Iraq today for the first time in months. CBS's Mark Phillips reports in this case, finding weapons isn't the priority. It's helping prevent a health catastrophe around Iraq's biggest nuclear facility.
The nuclear inspectors are back for the first time since they were pulled out before the war, here to see whether nuclear material looted from a research site now poses a serious danger to public health. The site at Tuwaitha is now under extremely tight security, but this barn door may have been closed well after the horses bolted. Post-war looting here before security was established took more than just research equipment. Much of Iraq's raw and partially enriched uranium that had been stored in sealed barrels and monitored by the UN disappeared as well. Many of those barrels are now strewn around the landscape. We found some lying in a creek bed where local children play. They'd been emptied and used for washing and carrying water.
We told them, you may get cancer.
Hasham Aben al-Malik, who used to work at the plant, says when the villagers learned of the danger, they either returned the barrels or dumped them.
Are you concerned the area has now been dangerously contaminated?
Yeah, dangerously contaminated.
This man claims his skin lesions appeared after he had handled the barrels. Some raw uranium was left in this backyard, and on the urging of health authorities, covered in cement.
This is danger.
The inspectors aren't returning to Tuwaitha to renew their search for a nuclear weapons program. They had pretty well concluded there wasn't one. They're here to see whether this area has been dangerously contaminated and its people put at risk by the looting, and they'll be working under strict limitations imposed by the U.S. The inspectors' only job is to determine what's missing from the base. Dealing with the people and the danger they may now face is the responsibility of the occupying power, the United States. Mark Phillips, CBS News, Tuwaitha, Iraq.
The same UN nuclear inspection agency has also written a report on Iran's nuclear program, and it reportedly concludes that Iran has failed to comply with full disclosure and other international agreements. The United States today called the UN's findings on Iran, and I quote, deeply troubling. The White House is calling the militant Islamic group Hamas a, quote, enemy of peace after it walked away from talks with Palestinian Prime Minister Mahmoud Abbas on ending attacks on Israel. Thousands of Hamas supporters marched today in the Gaza Strip to back the decision to break off the truce talks and to denounce the U.S.-backed roadmap for peace. Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, the Hamas founder and spiritual leader, blasted Palestinian concessions at the Red Sea Summit and said there is no other choice but to resume suicide bomb attacks against Israel. South Korea's president is in Japan for talks about the North Korean nuclear crisis. Japan's parliament has just given the government there controversial new powers unknown since World War II to mobilize and deploy military forces if the Japanese think an attack by a foreign power is imminent. And on this 59th anniversary of D-Day, U.S. veterans of the invasion to liberate France from Nazi occupation returned to the Normandy coast today. They rode in vintage jeeps and placed wreaths at a memorial at the American Cemetery. One American veteran said he needed to see the beaches to feel close to the friends he lost. In this country, a Florida judge ruled a Muslim woman may not wear her veil for the photo ID on her state driver's license. The judge said full-face photo IDs help police fight crime and terror and do not violate freedom of religion. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America, how one young man's story may make many people think twice about the battle over affirmative action.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
You've been waiting to do this for years. Don't let arthritis pain keep you from not starting a little something, not making your move, not getting physical, not putting it together, not spicing things up, not loving the moment, not going for it all the way. Grab some Tylenol arthritis pain with the time-release formula for continuous all-day relief. It's the Tylenol for arthritis pain. Because not playing is not an option.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you gotta go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Viagra congratulates Rafael Palmeiro on his 500th home run.
Buonasera, signore. Benvenuti. Today, we have some wonderful specials. First, a fresh angel hair pasta with a homemade tomato sauce. So sure to give you heartburn, you'll never forget.
It's different for people with acid reflux disease.
On top of that exquisite pain, acid gonna churn up your stomach and could grate away the lining of your esophagus just like it would a Parmesan cheese.
You should ask your doctor about the purple pill called Nexium.
You could be up all night.
For many people, with one prescription Nexium daily, heartburn goes away and stays away.
Tossing and turning.
And Nexium Relief goes deeper to heal erosions in the esophagus acid reflux can cause. So you don't just feel better, you are better. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. Talk to your doctor. Nexium has a low occurrence of side effects, including headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Don't let acid reflux eat at you.
How does that sound?
Relief, healing, Nexium.
Well, Walter always says home is where the heart is. And our hearts are right here.
I built this house.
I helped some.
I've been building homes for 20 years.
But when he got hurt on the job, he was out of work for almost a year.
I would have lost this house if it hadn't been for the disability insurance.
It's insurance that he didn't think that we needed.
She always brings that up.
Disability insurance from Mutual of Omaha isn't for getting hurt. It's for getting back on your feet. Begin today.
The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to rule any day now on the biggest affirmative action case in a decade. At issue are college admissions policies that give preferences to minorities in hopes of getting a more diversified student body. Among those weighing in are President Bush and the U.S. military, and they're weighing in on opposite sides, as Wyatt Andrews reports in tonight's Eye on America.
Graduating class of 2003, dismissed!
He was the student commander this year at West Point. First Captain Ricardo Turner, an African-American from Detroit.
Forward, march!
And he'll be the first to tell you his admission to the academy was due to affirmative action. Right out of high school, would you have qualified for West Point?
Well, I can answer quite frankly. Right out of high school, I did not qualify for West Point.
But the Army liked what it saw in Turner, recruited him here to the Academy Prep School, where he raised his SATs, enrolled in West Point, and soared.
I'm proud to be a part of the Army that we live in today. The Army that will look at a person for more than just numbers.
His success comes as the Supreme Court decides the future of affirmative action. In a case from the University of Michigan, where extra points were given to minority applicants, and where numeric goals were set for the racial makeup of each class, the president called those policies quotas.
Are unconstitutional.
But tell that to West Point, where numeric targets by race are set at 10 to 12% black and 25% minority. West Point does not have to meet those targets, but the Army believes because its rank and file exceeds 30% minority, a diverse officer corps is critical to military teamwork. Race matters.
Race matters, gender matters, in a very diverse Army and in a world where they're going to have to operate who knows where.
And this is where the Bush administration seems to have a conflict on affirmative action. How come the use of numeric targets to find minorities is unconstitutional at the University of Michigan, but essential here at West Point? The administration argues that selection based on race harms a society built on merit. The military argues you can recruit using race, but then promote based on merit.
No one is going to be here, admitted here, unless they meet the standard.
So they might find you at times by race, but you've got to cut it here on your own.
You have to make it.
Finding the Ricardo Turners is really what's before the Supreme Court. Was some white candidate somewhere hurt by his selection, or is America better off with now Lieutenant Turner in the U.S. Army? In West Point, New York, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
People who change their cell phone service provider will soon be able to take their numbers with them. A federal appeals panel today upheld the FCC's number portability rule, which takes effect in November. Wireless companies had challenged that rule, arguing it will cost them billions. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, Mars invaders, the next generation of NASA spacecraft coming soon to explore the Great Red Planet.
If these guys seem a little because they're about to be busted for stealing a car.
Damn, he got the gun now. They must have knew this was stuff.
He knew all right. Monday, an inside look at the high-tech way cops are stopping car thieves in their tracks. Eye on America on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Grandpa, how come you always chug your Metamucil?
Because if Grandpa doesn't drink his fiber fast, it gets thick and gritty.
Mommy doesn't chug her fiber?
That's because Mommy found an easier way to take fiber. Benefiber.
Benefiber?
It never gets thick and gritty like Metamucil can.
So Mommy doesn't have to chug it.
Benefiber's taste-free, too. Mommy can even put it in her coffee or yogurt.
Mommy's pretty smart.
Ask your doctor today if Lipitor is right for you.
Millions of us are hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS. The cause? For most, it was blood platelets that formed clots, which blocked blood from getting to the heart. Think aspirin and your other heart medications alone are enough? One more thing could help make a difference. Ask your doctor about adding Plavix. Added to aspirin in your current treatment, Plavix goes beyond what you're taking to help raise protection against heart attack or stroke. Plavix and your other medications work in different ways. Plavix, taken with aspirin, plays its own role in keeping blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep blood flowing.
If you have a medical condition that causes bleeding, such as stomach ulcer, you shouldn't use Plavix. The risk of bleeding may increase with Plavix, and when you take Plavix with certain other medicines, including aspirin. Review your medicines with your doctor to minimize this risk. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Add Plavix for more protection against heart attack or stroke.
Hello there. Cigarette?
Excuse me. The Nicotrol patch can help you beat cigarettes one craving at a time.
and you're twice as likely to succeed than with cold turkey. Nicotrol helps beat cigarettes one craving at a time.
Martha Stewart in all her former glory at the top of her game before her crown got tarnished. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Destination Mars. If all goes according to plan, NASA will launch the first of 2 new robot spacecraft to the Red Planet this weekend in search of water, life, and answers. CBS's Jerry Bowen is covering the Martian Chronicles.
Remember Tiny Sojourner, the little rover that starred in the Pathfinder mission to Mars back in 1997?
Stay tuned for more excitement from Mars Pathfinder.
Well, say hello to its beefed-up brothers. Twin rovers headed for separate missions to Mars, the first launch set for Sunday, with powers Sojourner never had.
It was about the size of a microwave oven. And if you look at the 2 Mars rovers, they're the size of small cars.
The monster trucks of Mars rovers, joke scientists, equipped with an array of sophisticated hardware to look for signs of water and answer critical questions.
Did the climate change? Was it warmer and wetter in the past? Could life have started in the past?
If all goes well, the rovers will make separate landings next January, parachuting to the surface in a protective cocoon of inflated airbags, and then come to life.
The rover is scrunched down. It's like broken limbs squashed into this space, and then it's got to do this and this and this and this and stand up.
And then start roving to rocks targeted by ground controllers at Pasadena's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
It knows how to navigate around the rocks that are too big for it and to go and reach that target so that at the end of the day it can communicate back with us and say, yep, I made it, I'm here.
Once there, the robot geologist goes to work. Back on Earth, geologist Steve Squires.
When we get up to a rock, we'll reach out with the arm, we'll use the rock abrasion tool to grind a hole into the rock, put the microscope down in that hole and take a close-up picture of the interior of the rock.
This $800 million mission has more riding on it than the 2 rovers. With the loss of 2 other Mars-bound spacecraft in 1999 and the grounded shuttle program, NASA needs a success story. And it has company. Last Monday, the European Space Agency launched its Mars Express, another little lander looking for signs of life on the Red Planet. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Pasadena.
Major League Baseball today told slugging Sammy Sosa to take a walk for 8 games for cheating. The Chicago Cub outfielder immediately appealed his suspension, and he'll be able to play until the appeal is heard. Sosa was punished for using an illegal corked bat, which accidentally shattered during a game Tuesday night. Sosa insists he used a batting practice bat by mistake. Coming up next here on the CBS Evening News, a story we'll call Can't Talk Now, Gotta Catch a Train.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Look at that. Oxy Booster got out iodine, ketchup, and nothing else. Tide with bleach got out everything.
Yes, I can.
Cheerios and strawberries have finally gotten together. New Berry Burst Cheerios. Real strawberries, together with those classic O's. For a taste you can really fall in love with. New Berry Burst Cheerios in both strawberry and triple berry.
I used to be laid back about everything. Nothing was too serious for me, especially my heartburn. Sure, most days it felt like I'd swallowed a blowtorch. It wasn't serious. So what if I practically had to sleep standing up like a horse? Wasn't serious. Fine, yes, I changed my diet, I started exercising more. It helped a bit. But then one day as I was chasing my breakfast with cherry-flavored antacids, it hit me. Maybe my heartburn is serious. So I go to my doctor and she tells me I have acid reflux disease. Acid reflux disease! But then she prescribed Prevacid because it helps prevent the acid and heal the damage. So I keep doing all the right things. Take 1 Prevacid once a day and then I can be my laid-back self. Seriously.
Prescription Prevacid actually helps prevent acid where it starts by turning off many of the pumps that produce it. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. Ask your doctor for more information and if Prevacid is right for you. Help prevent the acid with Prevacid.
And spiders and roaches. Not good. The solution? Ortho Home Defense. Spray indoors to kill bugs you already have. Spray outside to help stop new bugs from getting in. For months, guaranteed. Right, Murph? Ortho. Always the right solution.
Ask your doctor today if Lipitor is right for you.
Another problem for TennCare. In just a few minutes, we'll tell you about one regional hospital that's refusing to take TennCare patients. The story at 6.
Frequent flyer. Earning miles weekly on the King of Queens. See the big comedy take on every Monday night on CBS. Monday, what is it about Raymond that everybody loves?
In New Mexico, it took 40 cave rescue workers more than 16 hours, but this morning they finally got Riley Walker to safety. The 14-year-old was with a Boy Scout troop when he slipped off a ledge and tumbled into the cave below, injuring his leg. When a police officer puts on that badge, no telling what act of bravery he or she might be called on to perform. In Idaho, CBS's Sandra Hughes reports an officer answered the call to rescue a runaway.
It was an adventure worthy of a Hollywood Western. But when Idaho State Trooper Corporal Dwayne Prescott dumped his motorcycle to jump on board this runaway train near Boise, there was no stunt double.
I'm on the train. How do I shut this thing down? Dwayne, look for a switch or a plug that you pull that'll say emergency on it.
The engine had come unhooked from a parked train, gathered steam going downhill, and traveled 25 miles. It barreled through intersections and toward another train. Sometimes it speeds up to 40 miles an hour.
You found the emergency button. I think I got it.
But Corporal Prescott is a law officer, not an engineer.
Is the train stopping? No, we're going backward.
He did slow the train enough for others to jump on board and help stop it. After the ordeal, the corporal reluctantly sat down with reporters who wondered why he tried such a crazy stunt.
Well, my thought was if this thing keeps going, somebody's going to get a car out in front of this train.
But jumping a moving train isn't something officers learn at the police academy.
Unorthodox. I'd say it was brave, courageous, to say the least. That's the least I could say about it. I have nothing but praise for his actions.
Now everyone's calling Corporal Prescott a hero, except Corporal Prescott.
You know, I was just one that was lucky enough to be in the position to do it. But I believe that every one of the other officers, if they would have been in that same position, would have done exactly what I did.
All in a day's work for this humble lawman who rode off into the sunset before anyone could even say thanks. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's part of our world tonight. Sunday morning, Bob Schieffer with Face the Nation. Later tonight, a 48 Hours mystery.
A man known as a devoted father is charged with murdering his newborn son.
Garrett killed the baby for insurance money.
But is there any proof?
You can't be a murderer one day and a loving father the next day.
A 48 Hours mystery tonight.
For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting from New York. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you Monday. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com.
How to build your own brick barbecue on the Saturday Early Show. Experience CBS.
More bad news for people on TennCare. A Middle Tennessee hospital is no longer accepting the coverage.
Investigators say someone posed as a healthcare worker and took advantage of a girl just there for a sports physical.
And it was a soggy day at Fanfare, but thousands of faithful stuck around anyway. The news is now.
From your news and information leader,
is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Vicki Yates is off tonight. More bad news for TennCare.
A major Middle Tennessee hospital is dropping the plan, forcing TennCare patients to go elsewhere for their medical care. Murray Regional Hospital says it cannot afford to keep treating people who use the state's health insurance program. News Channel 5's Ben Hall says a lot of patients now wonder where they will turn.
As many people that's on TennCare and they quit taking TennCare, what are they going to do for care?
News of Murray Regional's decision spread quickly.
She has children with asthma problems.
It leaves Kay Hood's 2 daughters and grandchildren in a situation where they'll have to drive farther for health care.
It's just going to be hard on everyone, people that don't have, transportation to afford and also